Do you know what? I did really just want to sit here and go absolutely apeshit for 10, 15 minutes, but the last sort of 5 minutes of the game, it just wore me down, and if anything, I just feel drained. I don't have the energy to go apeshit because there's just so many things to go through in that game, and to lose in that way isn't nice anyway, but there's just so many points of frustration and anger yet again, and not that I'm happy to have a sort of told you so moment, but at the beginning of the sort of streak of draws that we've been having, I started to say and I started to notice little patterns of play, little parts of our game in our performances that were dropping and little things I was concerned about. So many people were saying, why are you moaning? We're top of the league. Stop moaning. You're bullshitting. We're top of the league. Literally, the things that I was saying whilst we were top of the league, whilst we were still drawing and picking up points, the concerns I was showing are now coming to fruition, and those things I was showing and expressing concerns about are the reason whilst we are falling away from the top of the league. Yes, it isn't time to absolutely collapse and say it's sort of panic time, push the red button type thing. Of course it isn't. But there's a reason why I'm saying these things. And all the things, the concerns I was showing, are the reason we are seeing what we're seeing right in front of our eyes right now. It's not finishing your chances. It's the substitutions being made at the wrong times. And when you are making them, or more often than not, recently, they've been the incorrect ones. Our patterns of play have been wrong. But in this game, individually, I think we were actually the better side for a large part. But how many times have we seen in recent weeks where you've been the better side and we haven't come away with 3 points when we should have come away with 3 points? And that's a concern. It's being clinical. We're not. And then it's how naive we are at the back when we are on top. We need to be more efficient at the bottom. It's so frustrating. Anyway, we'll get into the game because I'm not running myself into the ground here. We'll get into the game. So we went unchanged, which first that shocked me, to be honest with you. I thought with it being a sort of a 3-game week anyway, I wouldn't have minded like just a couple of changes. But given that we only played 3 nights ago anyway, I would have expected a few more changes. But to put on a sort of leggy side, or what you would expect to be a bit of a leggy side, I thought we might get a change or two, and we didn't. Particularly when you got such poor performances from like Roberts last time out, I expected a change. That would have been a glaringly obvious one. Or a rest for Watson, who only just come in for his first start recently. No, he started with them all. And to be fair, we started very, very well. I think in that first half, they might have had about 10 minutes where they sort of controlled and dictated the play, and we sat back, we absorbed pressure, but then we dictated the play. We controlled everything. The aggression in our press was fantastic. We were forcing them into errors, forcing them into mistakes, and we were making half chances here and there, but they were largely half chances. Watson was absolutely running them ragged down that left-hand side, taking on his man, either taking him to the byline or cutting inside. He looked so dangerous. Again, a lot of his shots were sort of blocked, but there were so many nearly moments when he's pinging across goal, balls that were nearly found Isidore and stuff like that, and we looked dangerous. And then eventually, we got ourselves a penalty. After, again, some great work by Watson, who takes on his man. The man brings him down inside the box. And of course, this is what we need to get into, because a lot of people seem to not understand the double jeopardy rule. He can't get sent off. You can't get a penalty and get sent off at the same time. So he gets booked. But who steps up to take the penalty? Paddy Roberts. First, I know people say, but he is our penalty taker, or he took our last penalty all those weeks ago or months ago, whenever it were. Yes, but that was when we didn't have a striker who's been scoring goals. That's when we didn't have a striker that we relied on. Paddy Roberts is the most out-of-form player we've had in a very, very long time. He is low on confidence, out of form, and his end product and output in general has been utterly embarrassing. Why in a game of such large proportions would you stick him up there? That makes no sense to me. Wilson Isidore should have had that penalty every day of the week. But no, Paddy Roberts steps up, hits it hard and low, and the keeper makes a decent save. But he should never be taking that penalty in the first place. Then they get a break. Luke O'Neill makes a mistake, and he made 2 or 3 of them this evening. Again, for someone, and I say I'm always honest, and I'm a big fan of Luke O'Neill. I think he's a great player, he's a valuable player. But when anyone makes a mistake, whether I like them or not, I will call them out. And he did make 2 or 3 errors this evening. And he had the ball on his left-hand side. He's cut inside. He's run himself into danger. I think what he's done, because he does usually do it quite well, when he does run into danger, he'll end up selling a foul, and then he'll kind of save himself that way. But he's sort of tried to sell a foul, and as he's gone down, he's kind of boot the ball away. But he's booted it straight at a Sheffield United man who's driving forward, puts his man through, but just as the ball's been slipped through to the Sheffield United striker, Mepham has cut across him, and at first glance, it looks like Mepham has got a nick on the ball to stop the ball, the momentum of the ball, and then after he's got the ball, he's took the man. But then on the replay, I can actually see, as much as the ref got all the niggly tackles and niggly fouls wrong, and he was shite with that all night, this one he actually did get banged on for me. Mepham it's actually the striker who's actually managed to cut the ball back just before Mepham comes in to try and reach it, and he just completely takes the man. So, and it was on the edge of the box. So he gets sent off. If it was a penalty, it would have been a booking, which is it's just such a baffling thing to me. But yeah, so Mepham gets sent off. They have the free kick in the edge of the box, and it's the wall. We managed to get away with it. But then not too long later, we're on the break. Isidore spins his man, Suter, and he goes for a second yellow. It's blatant. He's dragged Isidore back, and he gets a second yellow. So that's 2 sending offs, a penalty missed in the first half. Now, second half we come out, it's 10v10, and we're playing with Hume, Ballard, and Luke O'Nien as a back three. Dan Neil just sat in front of him. Then there's Job and Rigg. You've got the wingers and Easter up top as well. 10v10, and largely, again, we looked like the better side. It was sort of a little bit more end-to-end, but I generally did feel we looked a lot more dangerous, and we were on top, making half chances here and there. But it just got to the point where Roberts weren't contributing. Watson were blowing a gasket a little bit. So I'm thinking, you've got players on the bench. You've got Connolly on there. You've got Mayenda on there. Bring them on. We're on top now. Go for it. Let's keep on going. Don't get me wrong. Again, our corners are shite. I don't understand now why. When we win in corners, the crowd and anyone in general start clapping with excitement. Literally every time we get a corner or any form of set piece, I've got my head in my hands knowing full well and absolute with full acceptance that fucking nothing good is coming from the following set piece, because we cannot cross the ball. We can't cross the ball. We can't finish at the minute anyway. So corners, there's a better chance of conceding for a counter-attack than there is of us scoring. That's it. 100% more of a chance of conceding from a counter-attack, which actually did happen for the goal anyway. But prior to that, obviously, as I say, we're on top in the second half, playing well. So I'm thinking, again, just like last time, go for it. But instead, what did he do? He brings on Alessi. He starts solidifying the back four, pulls away from our attacking threats. And I get it. Like I said before the game in the preview, I'd absolutely take a point away from what Bramall Lane and Sheffield United, who are arguably the best sides in the league. But we made them look average for a large portion. And I know that they have it in the tank to beat us. At any moment, they can, flick the switch and they can absolutely hurt us because they have the quality, and they did in the end. But we played so much better than expected, and we look better than them for a large portion. So again, I'm screaming for Regis to make the subs, and then when he does make the subs incredibly late anyway, the shit. And then as soon as he makes all these shit subs, we get a corner, which again, of course, it comes to fuck all. They go straight up the other end, unless he has an opportunity to clear it, really, but he's made a bit of a mess of it. It takes a bit of a bobble, falls to Davies, who got a couple of ricochets, and a fairly tight angle on the right-hand side of goal. He goes for a goal, and I think Pato needs to do 1,000,000 times better. Again, we probably should have dealt with it a lot better defensively, but he goes straight through Pato, straight through him. Piss poor, really. He needs to make himself bigger and better than that. And Davies gets it at 85th, 86th minute, I think it was. And only when we concede does Regis then go, yeah, we should probably attack. Brings on Alshish, brings on Connolly, brings on Mayenda. What fucking... Come on, man. That's reactive. That is such reactive substitutes. And prior to that, I don't know what his game plan is there, to be honest with you. As much as I can give Regis credit for a lot of what he has done, his subs recently and the timing of them and the direction he's going with subs, they're absolutely and utterly baffling. It has to be said. And, fair play to Sheffield United. They plugged away and they've shown that they've got the quality to do it. We can't hit a barn door at the minute. We really can't. Eastdore's not fine. I mean... Eastdore's having little half chances here and there. Mayenda right towards the back end of the game. We had a good ball put in, flicks on, and then Mayenda acres of space on the right-hand side, about 8 yards out, but on the right-hand side of the box, on the volley. and instead of sort of putting his foot through it, he tried to just kind of finesse it, but he hit it straight at a Sheffield United defender, and that was a massive chance in itself. We just have no one who's putting the ball in the back of the net, and we need to stop just sticking with like sort of Roberts. Like Watson is looking so dangerous. Don't get me wrong, he looked like he blown a gasket a bit in that second, which is going to happen. But in that first half, he was very dangerous, so that's fine. Roberts on the other side is contributing utterly fuck all, nothing. And my end must be looking at it and thinking, how the hell do I get on the pitch here? When he looks so threatening against Millwall on that right hand side. When he's coming on, he's looking infinitely more exciting and more threatening than Paddy Roberts. Get him on the pitch. You know, you can't reward players as much. I like Paddy. I think as a person, not that he's been fucking best mate, but as a person, he seems like a decent bloke. I think he's got a good mindset on him. But when someone's in that kind of funk and that kind of mode, regardless of who they are, you can't reward piss poor performances with more appearances and more starts. Because then what does that feed through down? That filters down to players on the benches. Well, how are we supposed? You know, I'm doing well when I'm coming on the pitch here. Yet he's doing shit and he's sticking on. It doesn't make sense. There needs to be a level of continuity there, and there isn't. Al-Shees came on as well for the last few minutes, which is mental. Is he banished or not? Like what's going on there? Then he was sort of chasing the ball down a lot and had a couple of touches here and there, but that was it. Our first defeat in 10-11, whatever it was. And you know, if it's going to come to the hands of anyone, it's going to come to the hands of what is probably the best team in the league. But yeah, just more frustrating things. Again, if it was a case of Sheffield United dominated for 90 minutes off the majority of the game and they looked the better side, and we just had little things like penalties and that go against us, I would have been like, right, okay, fair play. But for us to play as good as we did, or at least we were competed and looked probably the better side for the majority, and then to concede like that, and then Rodgers making subs and little tactical changes that, if anything, just hindered us. That's the most frustrating thing. And now, like I said at the beginning, all the sort of little niggles and little concerns that I was bringing up whilst we were top of the league are absolutely coming to the forefront of our game now. And that was my concern. And again, I'm not buzzing like, oh yeah, I told you so. Of course I'm not. And I don't want any concerns to be the reason why we go down. I want them to be fixed. I don't want them to come to the forefront for everyone to see and then us to slip down the league. I want them to be fixed. And they're not. They're growing, which is just so frustrating. But it's one of them. We need to dust ourselves down again, go to the drawing board, and we do need to make changes. You can't just keep throwing the same team at it and hoping something will stick if it isn't working at the moment. Make a few changes, be brave, and that's all I can say to Rodgers. That'd be my thing, to make changes. Because, like I said, you can't keep sticking with the same shit. I'm just rambling now, guys. I'm so sorry. But yeah, apologies if that wasn't much of a review. I'm just fed up, tired, ill still from yesterday. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought. I'm frustrated as all hell and very, very drained, if I'm honest with you. It tires me seeing shit like that. But yeah, for positives, we did largely look the better side against, again, what is the best side in the league, for my opinion, or one of them. But it's just so worrying how unbelievably toothless we look up top. You can defend all you like, but you're not going to win the league or go up if you can't score goals and you can't put teams to the sword. And we just look so soft up top at the moment. But there we go. Let me know what you think. If you've enjoyed, if you agree, hit the like button for me. If you do hit the like button, honestly, it means the world. It really does. Subscribe if you're new. But for now, take care and stay jammy.